How's going, everyone? I'm gonna show you how we can create our maps using LDtk, Level Designer Toolkit, and then we export that maps as a tile and import that tiles into GDevelop. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to create a project, a new empty project. Let's call this LDtk, and let's call this LDtk. Okay, so I'm going to use a pixel art tile set, which is here. Tilemaps, tilemap tutorial, sprites, this one. A pretty basic tile set. So save this. Export. Let's call this LDtk tile set. Where is LDtk? Here. And here we can create assets folder, and inside assets tile set. Okay, so now we can close this. Since this is 16 by 16, let me check do some calculations. So if we want 320 divided by 16, we need 20. We open tile just to check if we create a new map and the width of the tiles is 16 by 16, and we want our screen to be 320 by 192. So we need 20 tiles and 12 tiles. Okay, let me magnify this so you can see better what we are going to do. We are going to create an orthogonal. The tile has to be exported maybe base 64 uncompressed. The render order is going to be left up, 20 tiles by 12, and the tile size is going to be 16 by 16. That is how we can create our level. So in properties, I'm not going to complete all of this, just the part what we need, which is 320 by 192. This can be put to 0, and since it's going to be a pixel art game, we don't need a anti-alias. Okay, so now in GDevelop we have our game set. Let's put a grid of 16 by 16, so we keep things logics here. And now I already downloaded this software. If you don't have, just click download. You don't have to pay for this. You just click no thanks here. And if you are on Windows, Mac OS or Linux, you can download from there. So we now open the LDtk. I'm sorry, this is another word of my game, my current game. So here you can open some of the examples of the LDtk. Here is auto layers with mosaic. I think there is a simple 2D platformer, yeah, here. And these are some of the examples included. But this has a lot of things: entities, wall shadows, collisions, background textures. We are not going to do such a map, just a simple map. So new map, we save this into the GDevelop LDtk project here. Maybe not inside assets folder. Let's create here some LDtk, so we keep the development of the maps sprites separated from the GDevelop assets. So here we can create something like level 0, and by default this creates a 256 square map, but what we are going to do is to fit the size of the default levels to our game, here and here, 192. So these maps are going to be the same size that we set here into GDevelop. When you can decide here which kind of map you are going to create. If you are creating, for instance, a runner game, you don't need to add maps into the upper part or the down part of the main map. Okay, so let's put this again, because 300. 192. Yeah, since this is on horizontal, when we create a new level, it's created horizontally. Every level you create is going to be placed just at the right of the other. But what we use normally is this one, is the 2D free map. So I can create a new level, then move that level wherever I want. Okay, as you can see, this is level _0 and this is level _1. That's because LDtk automatically choose the name of the first level that you are creating, and then identify that level with the next integer. So this is level 0, if this is level 1, and we don't do the auto thing, we can name this level 1 and a new level. It's going to be level 2, but we can do this and change this to level 22. This is a really good thing when we missed some level, or maybe we add some new in between our logic. Okay, so this is the basic for this tab, the world view. Then with this one you can see the parameters of the selected. With this tab, the project settings. So now we can save the project, save as, and give it another name, or rename the project itself. Okay, here there is a lot of options, but what I really use is this, and set this to 3 for instance. So as you can see here, sorry, but this file could be found. It's because if I check this but I don't save the project, this folder is not created. So save, and now if I try to open, that folder exists. And the same happens here with the tile. If I check this, I have this disclaimer which says tile export is only meant to load blah blah blah. So if right now I try to open and get an error because this folder doesn't exist until I save here. So now I open and that folder is created, and the tile map of the level 0 is created too. And this level 0.word, I think this is for tile itself. So you can double click and open that map into tile 2 with all the settings of the level designer tool. Here you can choose if you want to export the PNG of the map or don't export it. Here how you identify your level numbers. I like this notation, which is one letter uppercase, then lowercase, and separated with an underscore. I like this notation for the naming. Here you can choose the default layer grid, which is this one, this grid you see here is this number. Here how you identify the levels, which is right now with a level index. You can reset this if you add some other text. You reset this, and every one of these is going to be reset. This is the workspace background. As you can see, it's blue right now, and this is the level background. It's just to identify. I don't know if this has some kind of reset. Let's check. It's okay. Here's the pivot point. I normally don't touch this, but you can put the point wherever you want. And here's some advanced things that I never touched this. I use the default settings. When I'm done doing the changes, save the project and then go to the next tab. This is layers, entities, enums or enums, tile sets, which is going to be used by us because here we are going to add our tile set, shortcuts and settings of the app itself. So what we want to do right now is to add our first layer, which is going to be a tiles layer. Okay, so this for instance can be the background. And since we don't have any tile, we have to create a new tile set. So just click create, click here in the plus button, and we are going to use this tile. Tile set, here is the layout. This doesn't have any tag or any enums, just the tile set itself, and this tile set can be used for all the level 1 or level 0. Okay, so now why is not visible here if we already add that tile? Is because in the layer, which is called background, there is no default tile set assigned. Then we come here and assign the LDtk tile set to this specific layer. And now if we come back, the tile set is available. As you can see, here is the layer background, and if we are if we want to have another layer, we can add from here and choose which kind of layer we want, or just duplicate. If you are going to use this same set of tiles, just duplicate this and rename, for instance, I don't know, foreground. So if we come back to the layers, now we have our background and our foreground, and we can drag the order, the seat order here. And then if we want to add tiles into the background, just select the background, select the tile, and start painting here. Let's give this some randomness, and for instance a corner, and another here, another here, sail, a wall, and that is how we can start creating our levels. Just like that. It's pretty easy. This tool is awesome because it has a lot of functionalities. For instance, when you want to paint the same tile into an area, like you want to paint this whole area, you press Shift and select the area, and all the area is going to be painted. And when we finish designing our level, and hit save, here in the folder we choose, we are going to have a folder with the same name of the level that we are making, and into this folder we are going to have our backups and a folder named tile. And if we open this with tile, we are going to have the same, but only with the layers populated. As you can see here, we have background and foreground, but since foreground doesn't have any tile or any object here, when we open this map with tile, that layer doesn't exist here because it's empty. Then to move all of this into GDevelop, we just need to import the tiles and a JSON of this map, which can be exported from tile itself. So we open that map here, in tile, we come to export as, and here in the LDtk assets we can create, for instance, tiles, JSONs, and this is important. As you can see here, it's a JSON map file, but automatically when you export from tile, the file is .tmj. You need to change this to JSON. So now we have our JSON export, our tile set. Then we come back to GDevelop, add Tilemap, level 0, for instance. I don't know what is this or this. I don't really know. Layer index, I don't know. So the important thing is here into the Atlas image we have to choose from our assets the tile set we use, and into the tilemap JSON we choose the tilemap JSON level 0, and that's it. There is nothing else to config here. There is another object, this one, which is for collision mask, but I don't know how to use this. I didn't try, and I'm not going to try right now because this video is going to be screwed if I fail. So I'm not going to try this now. Just the tile map thing. But even if you want to use just the tile map and not that other object, the collision mask, you can perfectly do your game if it's not bigger. A big game you can do. I mean, I have this game, and look at this. This is not even using tile here. Those are just sprites with the map from that from the LDtk, just exported as an image, a PNG. So here I create one image, this one, scenarios, here the frames, and each frame is one of the LDtk levels. If you let me, I show you how I made that. So this is not closing. Okay, no problem. So the difference is this: the whole green blocks are my collision sprites, which is a tiled sprite. But for little games, smaller games, is not uh, a problem for GDevelop to handle all of this, because it's pretty powerful engine, so it's not problem to handle even 10,000 objects into the scene. So I separate this into worlds, world 1, 2, 3, 4, and each world with a different tiles. You can see one boss here, moving platforms, rotating platforms, lava. There is a lot of things you can do with this level designer. Look, the world 1, for instance, is all made with LDtk, and then this in these settings has this kind of export. So export as single PNG per level. Into my level I have a lot of layers, but when I save here, this exports levels PNG, and as you can see here is 0, 1, 2, 3, but as a single PNG. But if you need to parallax the background, for instance, you need to remove or hide the background here, maybe the far background, so those platforms are going to disappear when you save the project here, and maybe you want to add it directly into GDevelop. So I think the most important difference between this kind of game and one with tile is that collision thing that is implemented here with the collision mask, and I think this is specifically of the tile 1.9, because uses this class filter which can be created here into the layer. If we add, for instance, a layer and call these collisions, collisions, then we can add that class here. And use this class to identify all the tiles you add here. Let me add some tile here to use as a collision mask. For instance, you want the floor, the walls, the roof, the sail wall, and the sail again. So if you hide the background of the level, this is going to be used for the collision mask. And let me try to export this if I can. I don't know how to do that, but we are going to try to do this. So export Yes. Let's export this as collisions. Collisions.json. I don't know if this is going to work. Didn't try. This is going to be level 0 collisions, and this is the Tilemap JSON, which is this one, I think, and this is for the collisions. I don't know. I'm going to try, but if this fails, maybe later I'm going to do another tutorial. So let's check this. Now this is empty, totally empty. Something is different, and we can't check this if we don't have a player. Let's add some player. I don't know, a blonde guy. With a green. I don't know, just a player. It's okay. Let's add this guy. Watch tutorial. Platformer. Default controls. Maybe these two. 120. 60. And the jump we need to put here as lower number, 300 for instance. Okay, so move the player here and check. Is not gliding, is falling, is not colliding. Maybe we need to add to this the class, which is collisions. This debug is going to display the hitboxes. Okay, let's check that. And maybe we need to add the behavior platform. I don't know, I don't try this before. Nah, it's not working. Anyway, the way I do now, right now in my other game, is just to add a tile sprite, which is 8x8 too, and create, for instance, this like a floor or collider or collision or whatever you want to call collisions, and this is going to be 8x8 and this is going to be green because it's easy to identify this tile into my level, so I know this green thing is going to be the collider. So place this here, this one here, and totally forgot to name these two collisions and to add the platform thing. So now it's working. We can pass that, but we can't pass the wall, and everything is done with the tile map thing inside. As I said in my other game, in this game I didn't use this sprite with the tile thing because I didn't know how to, but right now is the best bet to use a tile map instead of using a lot of sprites. Plus you can do a single bigger image of all of these and use just one image to load the whole map for your game. For me is for my game, for this exact game right now is good. It's okay. I don't want to change this to tile map, but for my future games I will going to use the tile maps or from GDevelop objects. Okay, so this is it. I really did this video because I have this other one into YouTube, but some of the subscribers are telling me this doesn't work. I checked this this tutorial and it works for me, but I don't know. I don't really know what kind of issue they are having. So as the same way you can use a tile, you can use Level Designer Toolkit to create your maps, then use tile to export the JSON thing from here, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll leave these files available into the YouTube description. Okay, bye bye.